Hey people, what's popping? Kilo Shele, again name. Let's go there. Okay, wonderful people, beautiful people. It is your favorite Achalugo, Chidera Giselle on the microphone. If you're new here, hi, I am Dera. I am a flight attendant living in Lagos, Nigeria. You are welcome to my channel. So guys, I made a post on my community tab I think last week or a few days ago, and it was like an assumption tag. Let me read the post to you guys. I said, hello fam, how are you all doing? So while doing some chores the other day, an interesting idea came to mind. I just thought about asking you all on my community to let me know the assumptions you have about flight attendants and the job in general, because trust me, I have heard a lot of assumptions from people offline since I started this journey. So please do me the favor of letting me know your assumptions in the comment section of this post so that I can make a video addressing all your assumptions about flight attendants. Please don't air me. So the post didn't get a lot of engagement, didn't get so many comments, but there are about 9 or 10 comments, and I feel that is more than enough to film an assumption tag. So I am going to be reacting to all the assumptions, and some of them were even questions, they were not even assumptions. So let's just call it a flight attendant Q&A. So I'm going to be replying to all of them right away. So if this is something you feel like watching, do well to sit back, relax and enjoy. So the first assumption is from Penny's Great. Thank you so much for dropping this comment. She said, you are living the life, getting to see different places while on the job. Yes, I will not say this assumption is wrong. This assumption is very, very correct. We are actually living the life, but it's really not easy. It's not easy at all. The day of my first flight, the way my eyes turned me, because you are standing up at times when the seatbelt is still on, but you have to commence in-flight service, you have to do your flight duties and all that. So even if there's turbulence, even if there's anything, you have to stand up, you have to do the work. And I don't know if I narrated to you guys on the day of my first flight, because it was 4 flights, after the first sector, normally when I'm flying, once I get to my destination, I come down and go on my way. But after the first sector, people came down, like people disembarked from the plane, and I was still inside, and I asked myself that, wait, Chidera, so you are going to be here, like you will do this thing 4 times today. After this flight, you do another one immediately, you do another one, you will not do the last one before you go home. I was like, oh, I don't enter. That was what I told myself. Although the second time, my mind, I was prepared mentally. I knew, it's not like I was not prepared on the first day, but it's just your first experience. I don't know if you get, I knew what I was expecting, but trust me, it is not easy. Most times when flight attendants get to their destination, like the places they are supposed to be enjoying, many of flight attendants, like most flight attendants, spend their time sleeping all through. Like going on a flight is the greatest sleeping pill you can ever take. I'm telling you, I was having insomnia before my first flight. I was struggling with sleeping. Most times if I even sleep off 1 hour, 2 hours, I'll wake up and I'll roll on the bed for the next 2 or 3 hours before I sleep off. But after going on my first flight, what is insomnia? Insomnia flinged away immediately. Like I was just sleeping like somebody that they gave sleeping tablets. I'll wake up, sleep. I'll wake up, sleep. Like I'll just wake up in the next 1 hour, I'm feeling sleepy. I was just sleeping anyhow. So it's really not easy. We are living the life, but our job is also not easy. It's as difficult as other conventional jobs, or even more difficult. Another assumption is from Favor Aliu 4649. It's practically the same assumption with the one I just reacted to. She says, you guys are enjoying the life of your head, eating free food plus international cuisine too, and seeing all the countries you go to for free too. That's one of the perks of the job. So the next person I'm going to be responding to her assumption is Neki, and this one is not even an assumption, it's like a question. So she said, congratulations once to you again, more open doors, amen. So she said, must someone know how to swim before becoming a flight attendant? No, it's not compulsory, but it's an added advantage if you know how to swim before coming, because nowadays for flight attendant school, the major requirements, even international airlines, when you go to see their requirements, is being confident in water while putting on a life jacket. Most airlines in the world now would not test you without a life jacket, because in the real situation, if you are in an emergency that your plane lands on water because you cannot get to the nearest airfield, is a life jacket that you're going to be swimming with. So they will not require you to swim without a life jacket, but it's still not easy. And I remember when I went to aviation school, my aviation school took us for ditching, because it's called ditching. They took us for ditching practice first in a different place from our school. We went there, we did the practice. I act like, if you go back to that video, you see where I acted drama, where I was screaming because I was freaking out with that life jacket. I was so scared. The life jacket was floating and taking me back, and because I didn't know how to use it, because there's a technique, I was freaking out. But after going for that practice, by the day we went for the main test with Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, it was easier for me because I had practiced. So it will not hurt for somebody that has interest in this job to actually go learn how to swim, because in some schools you don't get the opportunity to do any practice. It's on the main day that you're supposed to face NCA that you have to do that. And for some persons, they enter into serious trouble when they are freaking out. Like, you're supposed to be confident in life jackets, because if there's an emergency, you're supposed to be the one making everybody to be calm and collected. So if you are freaking out as a flight attendant, what do you expect other people to do? So it's just an added advantage if anyone that wants to go on this path goes to learn swimming. Me, I know how to swim with life jacket. I'm so confident now. Like, even when we did our conversion training with my airline, I was confident on that day because I already knew how to swim in life jackets. But I still plan to go do intensive swimming classes without life jackets, because you never can tell, like, whether it's for the plane or anything. It's just a basic survival skill. Like, it's important to know how to swim, yeah, without a life jacket, because you don't know where you find yourself tomorrow. So the next assumption I'm going to be addressing is trend with tomorrow. She says there's this assumption flight attendants are promiscuous and date married pilots on the side. So first of all, this is a very, very wrong assumption. Yes, I for one, like personally, I am not promiscuous, and I have colleagues that are not promiscuous, and I feel like promiscuity is not tied to a certain job. Anybody can be promiscuous. Somebody can be a hairstylist and be promiscuous. Somebody can be working in the bank and be promiscuous. Somebody can be working even at home and be promiscuous. Like, you can even be married and you're a full-time housewife and you are promiscuous. Promiscuity is not tied to a particular job or a particular career. So if there is anybody that is a flight attendant that is promiscuous, it has to do with them personally and has nothing to do with the job. Because trust me, there are flight attendants that are just there for the passion of the job. They do their job and they go home. And dating married pilots, I for one, I have never dated a married man in my life. I've not finished dating single men. I've not finished giving single men attention. It's married men that I will be giving attention. So the next person I'm going to be responding to is Chiki series. I don't know if I pronounced that name very well. If I murdered it, I am so sorry. So she said, actually, I wanted to be an air hostess back then, when I finished my first degree, but I never knew one has to undergo a special training to be selected for an interview. Hence, I never realized the dream. The thing is that some people actually never trained and they got the job. All these international airlines don't necessarily even need to be trained. Yes, some of them will even train you by themselves. But in Nigeria, that's the standard. And that's the standard in so many countries all over the world. Get trained and get the job. But there are still some people, even in Nigeria today, upon how hard the job is, there are still some people that get the job without going through any training. They just get lucky. But that is 0.0001% chance. So you said this is the major reason I love your resilience and your flight attendant series. Thank you so much. So she said, however, I knew people were worried about how risky the job is and the exposure that comes with it, saying that air hostesses sleep around. I think I just explained that sleeping around part. Personally, I love traveling and prefer to be an air hostess so that I can travel for free. You have two concerns in this comment. You said people were worried about how risky the job is. I remember when I wanted to do this thing at first, I should have become a flight attendant like 2 or 3 years ago, but God knows the best. I still became a flight attendant at 25, and that is all that matters. But I should have done this since, but I listened to persons that were scared on my behalf, that were telling me the job is risky. Don't you hear how flight attendants die, this one, that one? And I didn't pursue what I really wanted for my life. And I'm just going to be telling anybody that is watching this video, that has watched this extent, that there is no job that doesn't have risk. In fact, there is nothing. It doesn't even have to be a job. Everything in life is a risk. Life itself is a very, very big risk. Yes. And I don't know if you have made any research, but I made research when I first started aviation school. That was the first thing I did. I went online and I typed the safest means of travel, and by far air travel was the safest. Number one on the list. Like, no other means of transportation comes close to air travel. It is the safest. Aviation is the most regulated industry when it comes to transportation in the whole world. They check everything. I was watching a video on Instagram the other day, and they were like, if driving a car was like flying a plane. Like, pilots have to check everything from A to Z before they take off, like before they move the plane. It is the most regulated. We go through rigorous trainings to be flight attendants. As simple as people think the job is, you don't know the training we go through. You don't know the amount of reading we have to do. I read every day. I'm always reading. I'm always trying to stay updated. We go through a whole lot to become flight attendants, just to make sure just to make sure the aviation industry is safe. And any other person seeing aviation goes through intensive training. So aviation is quite safe. And I was telling somebody something the other day that, oh, you people are afraid of plane crashes and all that. Some people have been in their house before, like they were sitting down in their house living their daily life, and a plane crashed on top of their house and they died from plane crash. There was this plane crash, is it Texas or Houston? I don't know the part of, Atlanta, one part of America. I'm going to confirm before I post this video. In that place, in that video, the plane crashed in the middle of the road. And there are some flight attendants, like my instructor in aviation school, my instructor in aviation school, he flew for 30-something years. His flight attendant's career spanned for over 30-something years, and he told us in class that he never experienced any emergency on board. In fact, the only emergency he experienced was decompression, drop down oxygen mask. Like, they dropped down, and before they could even wear the masks, the plane leveled off and oxygen was restored to normalcy in the cabin. Now, this is not to say that I don't know how to put it. I'm always prepared for anything, because that's what they train us for, to be prepared for anything, so that if any emergency occurs, we swing into action immediately and we can even save the day, like the miracle of the Hudson River, where the plane landed on water and every soul was saved on board. Not one soul was lost, and that was because of the captain, the first officer, and the cabin crew. They did an evacuation and they evacuated the entire plane, and everybody survived because the plane could not make it to the nearest airfield. So that is why we are trained. I always have it at the back of my mind that anything can happen, but I'm not going to limit myself. I had this dream, so I'm not going to limit myself because the job is risky, because in life everything is risky. Somebody can go and bathe in the bathroom and sleep and fall and die from there. Somebody can just sleep, like the person will not even have any issue, and the person will just die from there. I've even heard of people that just sat down and died. So life itself is risky. So I feel like anybody that is interested in this job should not be discouraged by, oh, it's risky, oh, plane crash, planes don't drop from the sky anyhow. So that's my response to that assumption. So this is from Miss Lara Oluwole. She said, I retired from Nigeria Airways, senior colleague in the building, and I worked in cabin services section, which is part of cabin services training school in flight operation department. Your videos brought back memories of those years. Remember, you still have to undergo training periodically, and also upgrading tests to other aircraft types is fun all the way. Exactly, like we have to undergo trainings in a year. Even as I've started the job, I can undergo 3 trainings. Like my colleagues, my senior colleagues, I think they did like 2 or 3 trainings last year alone, and they have been flying for years. But they had to like go for conversion courses, recurrent courses. Like we just have to keep on training and training and training, because the safety and the regulations in aviation, they are top notch. Yeah. And Miss Lara Oluwole dropped on that comment. She said being a flight attendant has its cons too. Your love life is affected because you're away from home for some days. If you're on an international flight, majority of them usually stop flying when they marry and start having children, and of course get out of shape. This is true to some extent. Before I got into aviation, I was like, yo, people don't do it after they're married. And I was surprised when I came into the job and I saw people that have been married for the past 10 years, for the past 15 years, for the past 20 years. And I was like, wow. Yes, some of them get married. There's a way it happens, Sha. It's actually not easy, but then it's not easy with any career. It's not easy. Whenever they are pregnant, they have to report to their airline, and they may have to stop flying for the period that they are pregnant, and they may just be working as ground staff. And after giving birth and recovering, they have to work on their shape, get back in shape, make sure they are fit, and then they have to go back to the classroom safe, because they have not been flying for like a while. So they have to go back to the classroom, do another intensive training before they get back to flying. And they go through that anytime they get pregnant again. If they're carrying 2 or 3 or more pregnancies, they have to go through that. And the love life part is kind of true, but I just feel like every career stands that risk in life, like your love life being affected and all that. Every career stands that risk. There are some people that are not in this career and they have to travel, they have to come back late, or some days they don't come back home, except that person is a full-time housewife. But there are so many careers that you have to travel and be away from home. The major thing is being married to a supportive partner. When your partner knows that this is your career path, this is what this person loves, and the person tries his best to encourage you and make life easier for you. I feel like that's the major hack. People that didn't retire after getting married and getting pregnant, many of them is because they have supportive partners. Because trust me, you cannot be married to somebody that is not supportive and continue with this our job. Is really not possible. And personally, I know that one day I'm still going to get married when the time is right. I'm still going to get married. I'm going to get married to a good man, a supportive partner that has sense, and we are going to navigate our way around this. I don't know what the future holds for me. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this job, but I plan to do it for as long as I can, except something comes up. And even if I'm not in the cabin services department, like as a cabin crew, I'll still love to go far with aviation. There are different sections of aviation. Like there are different paths you can follow in aviation. You can be a flight dispatcher, you can be a customer service rep, you can be an airline executive. Like there are so many things. I cannot just mention all of them here. So I pray that I'm still able to continue in this industry, cabin services or not, but I would love to do cabin services for a very long time. Like I would love to be a cabin crew for a very long time before I can also become an instructor in future. Many of our instructors, in fact, there is no instructor I've met since I started aviation that was not a cabin crew before. No, I've not even met one. All of them are usually from cabin crew. They now become instructors like after years of experience and all that. And some go ahead to become airline executives, maybe director of flight operations, cabin services manager. That's our madam. Some of them go ahead to even become CEOs, chief operating officers. So many things, like there's no limit. So let's see where my life trajectory takes me. Thank you also so much for this assumption tag. Oh my god, with just how many questions that I got. Look at this video, is already so long, like it's already over 20 minutes, although I may cut it to be less than that. But I'm just going through my phone to ensure that I did not miss anyone, and I didn't miss anything. Thank you also so much for watching this video. If you're new here, please subscribe, and as you're subscribing, don't forget to turn on your notification bell. Even if you're not new here, you may be subscribed and you did not turn on your notifications, so please ensure you turn it on so that you'll be notified anytime I post a new video. Share this video. Let's move this ministry to the permanent site. Leave a kind comment and all of those wonderful stuff, and hopefully I am going to be seeing you guys in my next video. For now, bye, kiss, love you.